Welcome to a very special episode of Ant on Music. Sit back, relax, grab a bottle of Motley Brew as we enter the theater of pain with Dr. Feelgood and get the dirt on Los Angeles bad boys, Motley Crue, or at least my Motley Crue collection. Somebody had asked for me to do my Motley Crue collection, so here it is. I'm not a completist, as you know if you've watched my videos. I do have pretty fair amount of Crue stuff, but I've said it before, not a bootleg guy, not a picture disc guy, but I do have some cool stuff. And it allowed me to pull out some of the things in my collection that I really dig. Like this t-shirt. This is probably my favorite Motley Crue t-shirt. This is from when they toured, I believe, in '98. Saw them at the Nassau Coliseum, what used to be the Nassau Coliseum, out on Long Island, New York. And this was the Motley Crue versus the Earth tour. And they had Cheap Trick as openers, which was fantastic. And it really was a spectacular show. Also, I've been seeing Crue. First time I saw them goes all the way back to when they played Madison Square Garden in New York City on the Theater of Pain tour. That t-shirt, quite old, almost 40 years old. Not putting that one on. It doesn't fit. Obviously, back then, I think I was 17 when I saw them. It was my first metal show at the Garden. They had Loudness as openers. And if you were at the show, you know the joke with the Loudness lead singer telling everybody to crap your hands. So let's get into this. Enough of this silliness. Let's take a look at my Motley Crue collection. So you can see the stuff behind me. Later on, we'll take a closer look at that. I'll pick up the camera and do a quick walk around over there. But as I said in my intro, first thing I'm going to show is not even music. How about this? A bottle of Motley Brew. This was actually a carbonated beverage, non-alcoholic, that the Crue put out for their Generation Swine release. Okay, and I have two of them. This one is still sealed because the other one tasted like ass. I mean, this thing was awful. Really, really terrible tasting, carbonated garbage. Don't know whatever else was in here, but whatever the flavoring was, it was pretty gross. So Motley Brew, this will stay sealed for all eternity. We'll put that back here on the shelf. Along with that, Generation Swine, I had a hard time picking up a t-shirt for today, and I decided on this one. And like I said, I have a ton of Crue tour shirts. The other one I was going to wear was this, so I figured I'd just show it to you. This was from the Live Swine live listening party events that they had. This was the run-up to the Generation Swine release, which was pretty cool because went to I can't remember what theater it was. I think it might have been the Bowery Ballroom or the Manhattan Center, one of the two. It was a small venue, and Crue was there. They played the entire album over the loudspeakers, over the sound system in the theater. Basically in the dark. It's like you were in a big club listening to the album. They had drinks and whatnot, and I was lucky enough to get tickets to it. And it was sold out. There were only several nights. The night I went was the last night, which was in New York City. And that was the night before they released the album. So I got to hear the album like hours before it was released. And this was back in the days pre-internet, so there was no way to upload it and, basically steal the music from the band. And it was great. It was a once-in-a-lifetime event, as it says right there on the shirt. Very, very cool, and only several hundred people were there. The cool thing about that was, on top of the band being there, all their spouses and girlfriends were present, and it's like, from my vantage point, you could see they were all seated together. Pam Anderson was there. Can't remember, and Donna Dixon was there. It was pretty cool. It was a cool event to be at. Band came out. They played some tracks as well, which was kind of neat, like having your own little Motley Crue concert. So that was very nice. That was something that was kind of popular in the late 90s. I also went to one for Aerosmith 9 Lives. But we're not talking about Aerosmith. We're talking about the Crue. As far as the Crue goes, I have, all the original standard releases on CD. Okay, so every single one of them that they've put out. And this one's a little bit rare. All right, this is an import, Jap import, and got the Obi in there. Kept that safe all these years. And this is called Raw Tracks. And this was basically an EP that they put out in Japan. And the track listing on it is the original leather mix of Livewire, PCR Action. Those two are from the original leather mix of Too Fast for Love. Too Young to Fall in Love, a remix of it. Knock 'Em Dead Kid, and a remix of Home Sweet Home, and a live version of Smokin' in the Boys Room. And I believe that was the first live version of Smokin' in the Boys Room that came out. As far as the packaging goes, there's really not much. Everything is in Japanese, so it doesn't do me much good. In the back, they do have it translated in English, so there is some way to follow along if you don't already know the words. So I have that in my collection. Moving right along with the rest of the CDs as far as that goes. Girls, 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 Dr. Feelgood, Decade of Decadence, the one album with Crab on it, John Corabi with Hooligan's Holiday, great album. Didn't do well at the time, but actually is a really great Motley Crue album. Generation Swine, and yes, I don't have it backwards. That's the way the album came. It's not supposed to be this way. It is that way. It's the way they packaged it. Then they released all the albums again as their first set of Crucial Crew albums, which is, once again, all the same stuff. Got all the hype stickers on there. Moving. Dr. Feelgood. And the thing with these, with all these, and I'll go back to them, and this is another one. This is Greatest Hits album from Crue. It has two new songs, Bitter Pill, which I absolutely love, and Enslaved. That's on this Greatest Hits package from Motley Crue. And Crucial Crew, and then you have Supersonic and Demonic Relics. And this has all sorts of B-sides. Exclusive live version of Dr. Feelgood. 11-minute collaboration with Skinny Puppy. Selected tracks from the limited edition Quaternary CD and Decade of Decadence. 2 never released songs and 3 demos. And, so you have that. And with all these, with the Crucial Crew releases, what they did with all of these was they put bonus tracks on. So it made it, worthwhile. Like on the first album, on Too Fast for Love, they included 4 bonus tracks, 3 never before released songs. They have on here Toast of the Town, which was previously unreleased. Tonight, Too Fast for Love, Too Fast for Love, an alternate intro, Stick to Your Guns, an unreleased track. On Shout at the Devil, they had, let's see, what do they have on this? They had they had demo versions of Shout at the Devil, Looks That Kill, and Hotter Than Hell, and an unreleased track called I Will Survive. For the Theater of Pain album, they had an alternate guitar solo rough mix on Smokin' in the Boys Room, a demo of Home Sweet Home, City Boy Blues demo, Home Sweet Home, an instrumental rough mix, and Keep Your Eye on the Money on Theater of Pain. For Girls, 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 the bonus tracks on this were, let's see, what do we got here? Girls, 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 Tom Werman and Band intro rough mix of the instrumental track. Wild Side, instrumental rough mix of the instrumental track. Rodeo, which is an unreleased track. Nona, the instrumental version of that track. On Dr. Feelgood, with this one, you had demo versions of Dr. Feelgood, Without You, and Kickstart My Heart. And the unreleased track on this was Get It for Free. With this is just the greatest hits collection with Bitter Pill and Enslaved on it. Really dig Bitter Pill. I like that song a lot. Crucial Crew version of Generation Swine had unreleased tracks of Wreck Me and Kiss the Sky, Rocket Ship, an early demo of that, and Afraid, the Swine Mix Jimbo mix on that. And finally, on Supersonic and Demonic Relics, the extra tracks, the extended version of Hooligan's Holiday by Skinny Puppy, So Bad, So Good, So Bad, unreleased track, Rock and Roll Junkie, and Mood Ring, and Dr. Feelgood Live. So you have those bonus tracks there on the Crucial Crew CD set. That's a mouthful. You say that 10 times fast. This was their first live album that they put out. Motley Crue Live, Entertainment or Death. This was a double CD package. Cool thing about this was it's a die-cut cover. I wish they would release this on vinyl as a die-cut cover. That would be pretty neat. I would definitely pick that up. And I got photos of the band in there. And I'll show you this one because don't have this one on vinyl to show you. Don't know how much of this you can see, but give you a look. Some pictures of the band in back there. And it's a 2 CD set. It's the classic Crue live set from this point in time. Smoking in the boys' room, Don't Go Away Mad, Wild Side, Looks That Kill, Knock 'Em Dead. It's like a live greatest hits package. It's fantastic. Motley Crue new tattoo. If you've been watching my videos, you've seen me wear my Motley Crue new tattoo long sleeve shirt. Got to see them on this tour. If I remember correctly, they had Randy Castillo on this tour as well. And Randy is on the album. I did see them another time without Tommy, and it was Samantha Maloney from Hole, I believe, was the drummer on that one. New Tattoo's a pretty good album, for Latter Day Crew. Hell on Our Heels was a great song. Treat Me Like the Dog I Am, New Tattoo, First Band on the Moon, Hollywood Ending, Fake, White Punks on Dope, their cover of that, which I totally dig. Also, next one up, Motoring Through These. Motley Crue, the Saints of Los Angeles. After they broke up and reformed, they, release stuff sporadically. They haven't released a ton of stuff. And, there's rumors now that they're going to release something with John Five on guitar. I don't know if they will. There's also talk that Mick Mars may be coming back to them, at least in a writing capacity. Don't know. It seems like they're trying to bury the hatchet. I mean, it's kind of hard for me to see Crue without Mick Mars. If they got rid of Vince Neil at this point, I don't know how many people would be unhappy with that move. Vince Neil's voice isn't what it used to be. Hasn't been in decades. I used to joke around and say when they had the farewell tour that the reason why it was the farewell tour, the final tour, is because Vince Neil finally forgot all the words. And now you have all the garbage that goes on with, Tommy doesn't play live. He's got backing tracks. Vince obviously can't sing. And, Nicky doesn't play bass. He's got backing tracks. And, is it really rock and roll at that point? Without them playing the stuff live. It's like, if I want to hear the music loud off of a tape, I'll sit here in my house and listen to it, on my stereo. It doesn't have the same feel as being in a crowd, but doesn't cost me anything either. I've already invested in everything. Next thing we're going to take a look at is a couple of the Crue tour books that I have. I've got one more CD in the set, and that's another greatest hits package. Red, White, and Crue. So that's a 2 CD set. More greatest hits stuff from the Crue, stuff that nothing spectacular there. And next, when I got to see Crue for the first time, I saw them at Madison Square Garden, which I already said, right? And there's Alistair F'N back there. The tour books that they had on sale at the Garden weren't for the Theater of Pain tour. They were still selling Shout at the Devil tour books. All right? So I was more than happy to pick that up. I thought that was cool because this was the album that got me into the Crue. Somehow my mom was really cool when I was a kid. For Christmas, she bought me Shout at the Devil. I asked for it. I asked her for it, and she said, sure. I'm sure she had no idea what the hell she was getting, but whatever. Look at this. A very young Vince Neil before he was Vince Neil. And, looking fit and trim, Mr. Neil. And singing well at that point, too. And there's Frankie, Nikki Sixx, Frankie Ferrana. Bob Deal, Mick Mars, right? He's the guy that came over with the Motley Crue name. They changed the spelling a little bit, added the umlauts, and the rest was history. And Tommy Lee Bass, or bass, on drums. And if you've seen Crue live, you know one of the highlights of seeing Crue live is seeing Tommy's drum kit do whatever it's doing. You know, on this tour, it's gone upside down. It's been on a roller coaster track. I mean, there's so much stuff. You know, it's spun in the air. You name it, Tommy has done it. Every year there's another trick. More live shots from this one. And like I said, at this point they only had the 2 albums out according to the tour book. So you know, I hopped on that. Pretty cool. Take a look at another one of the tour books. You know, they weren't a band that always had tour books when they went out on the road. You know, money's money. You know, if you ain't got the audience to buy this stuff, you know, if there's not a demand for it, you're not going to produce it. This one is from the Girls, Girls, Girls tour. All right, take a quick look at a couple of pictures in here. This is the interior shot, obviously a die-cut cover. You know, much different look from the Crue, a lot less makeup on this tour. At least the, you know, Vince still holding his own right there. Tommy. And Mick Mars. And of course, this tour, I believe, had Nasty Habits on there. And I even still have the order form in here from all those years ago. I never ripped it out, never ordered anything from it. I bought enough tour merchandise. And here you have Nasty Habits, who are the background vocalists. And Mick Mars was actually married to Emmy Canyon, one of the two background singers there. I believe they're divorced now, but hey, such is life. More pics there, and we'll leave that one there. Got 2 more tour books to look at. We're not done yet. This one is from Dr. Feelgood. It's kind of like a medical chart, what they did. They have tabs for each of the members, you know, which is kind of neat. And of course, you know, since it's Dr. Feelgood, we've got some hypodermic needles there. Great stuff to show the kids. And this was a massive tour. This was a massive world tour. I saw them a few times on this tour. Saw them open, have an opener Faster Pussycat one time. They were great. That was out in Jersey. Try and get it where there's no glare for you. Hey, look, smile for the birdie. And take a look at the end, and there they are. They're still hanging around. Nasty Habits. Why would you get rid of them at that point? They could sing, they were good looking. And the last tour book that I have is the Red, White, and Crue tour. This kind of had like a carnival theme to it. Saw this at Madison Square Garden. I've actually got some good pics of that. I'll probably attach a couple of them to the video. I've got a really great shot of Nicky. It looks like he's looking dead at me, which is really cool. I'll probably post that as well. And obviously everything in this is like sepia tone. I wish I would have added a little more color to this tour book, but you know, when you're a collector of stuff, you're a collector of stuff. It's just that simple. So, you know, like I said, they had a whole carnival thing. So, you know, no reason to go any further with that. But we're not done yet. There's always more, right? There's always more. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at 3, not 1, not 2, but 3 Motley Crue box sets. What? 3 Motley Crue box sets? Yes, I'm stuttering. I'm so excited about it. 3 Motley Crue box sets. All right. First 2, there should have been a third one, and I'll explain that. Hippo Records, in association with Motley Crue, Motley Beyond Records, released 2 of these musics with the very inappropriately titled Music to Crash Your Car to Volumes 1 and Volume 2. Now, one came out in 2003. The other came out in 2004. And there was supposed to be a third one put out in 2005, but it has never materialized. And I'm still waiting for it. Why? Because when you put the covers together in the back, you see it says Motley. I need the Crue. I need the C, the rest of the C, the R, the U, and the E. I must have it. And these are cool. These are, you know, kind of like a faux leather, faux snakeskin cover on both of them. And they've got a ton of stuff in here. These are great box sets. Well made. The interior, very nice. Has a book with you know, tons of pictures, information on the band, and you know, everything you'd want to know about Motley Crue, but you were too afraid to ask your mama about. So you have all that. Show you a couple more. And this thing's got a massive track listing on it too. It is 4 discs in the one set, okay? And the first one, this one covers the early years of the band. It's got lots of bonus material in here. And you know, I've kept everything. I've got the hype sticker from back in 2003, as well as the sheet that was actually on the back of the box itself. It fit nicely inside. So I have all that for as long as I've had it. And you know, this has everything like the original leather album of the original leather mix of the first album, Too Fast for Love, the re-release version as well. It has bonus tracks like Toast to the Town, alternative intros for Too Fast for Love. It's got all of Shout at the Devil on here, all of Theater of Pain, and all of Girls, 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 along with bonus tracks that aren't anywhere else, you know, prior to this. So Girls, 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 the tour, you know, Tom Werman and band intro, rough mix, instrumental. So this was a good place that they put these out and have them all in one spot. But like I said, a wee bit peeved that they have never, ever, ever gotten around to doing the last volume of this, which would, you know, not bring them up to present, but would at least bring them up much closer to where they were when they stopped producing these. And I'll show you the second one as well. You know, slightly different cover. I don't know what management was thinking, considering the accident where Vince Neil, you know, injured people, gave somebody brain damage, killed Razzle from Hanoi Rocks, which basically ended their career. You know, and once again, 4 CDs, leather type cover, very nice. Hype sticker still here. This is the complete Crue from 89 to 94. Includes Dr. Feelgood, the Quaternary EP plus live recordings, demos, and alternate mixes, deluxe packaging with booklet, comic book, and poster. So that has that track listing there of everything on there. You've got, in this, you've got the track list, the glorious results of Misspent Youth, which I believe is the comic book that they threw in here, or is that the article on them? Yeah, it's the article on them in here. It's been so long since I actually looked at this. Here's the Motley Crue comic book. This is what we want to check out. So you've got the little Motley Crue comic book here that's included in this. And there's the back. And, you know, it's a comic book. You know, that was a big thing. You know, Kiss was the first ones to do that. Kiss is the first person to do everything, it seems. You know, they're the first group to do everything. You know, the comic book's called The Motley Crue West Coast Wild Men. You know, give you a look at the little comic book that they have thrown in here. It also has this mini poster as well. Some Music of Correction cartoon on the back. Pretty similar to Decade of Decadence. Collage of the band right there. But wait, there's more. Of course, there's always more, right? You know, like I always say, people always go, you got so much stuff, you got so much music, you know, you got a ton of stuff, you know? But I don't have everything. And that's why I keep collecting physical media, all right? So, let's actually put this. I don't want to lose the hype sticker after having it for, you know, 1,000 years. So let's let's put that away. The last thing I have is probably the most recent box set by the Crue. I'm sure other people have shown this online because it's been around for a couple of years. And that is Crucial Crue. When you got a theme, I guess you stick with it. And this is the first 5 albums. It's pretty cool to have this in my collection, to have everything on vinyl from the first, the classic era of the Crue, the first 5. Those are the ones that, people of my generation, that's the stuff we grew up on. That's the stuff that you're going to go back to time and time again. So the cool thing about these is, they're remastered and they're all on colored vinyl, which is pretty neat. So this is the back of the box. I know the shrink wrap, kind of gives a little bit of a glare. No bonus tracks is what it is, but it's great to have. So let's take a look at this together. All right. A little bit of Too Fast for Love. It's the same as it was when it originally came out. No changes. Cool picture of the band there. And all the lyrics and liner notes on the back. And the vinyl itself, look at this. Very cool black and white splatter version of Too Fast for Love. It's heavyweight vinyl. It sounds great. Looks good. Sounds good. Most important thing, sounds good. If it looks good and sounds like crap, who cares? It's got to sound good too. They did a good job with the remasters on these. And next, the one that kicked it off for me, Motley Crue's Shout at the Devil. All right. Still has the original gatefold sleeve and the interior pentagram, lyrics and liner notes. And this, I was surprised I didn't put it on red vinyl, but hey, it is what it is. They did it in black and yellow. Don't know what the logic is there, but it's cool. And I know they released another Motley Crue 40th anniversary edition of Shout at the Devil, and it had all sorts of stuff like a bandana and whatnot. I haven't gotten around to getting it. I know there was another version of it out there that was a clear vinyl that had like food coloring in it, so it looked like blood. I don't know how well that's going to hold up over time, but I guess it's cool to have. I haven't picked up either one of those yet. Theater of Pain, first time I got to see the Crue was on this tour. Definitely, poppier in nature compared to previous offerings. Definitely this was a change for them. And this is, I don't know how well it comes across, but it's pink and black, which kind of fits with the theme from Theater of Pain. This is a good album. I think it gets, beat on a bit, but it's got some great tracks on here. I love City Boy Blues, Fight for Your Rights, Home Sweet Home, Keep Your Eye on the Money, Louder Than Hell, Raise Your Hands to Rock, Save Our Souls, Smoking in the Boys Room, which is a cool cover. Tonight We Need a Lover, Use It or Lose It. I mean, this is classic stuff. It's like they're still playing stuff from all these albums live, and why not? They're great albums. Girls, Girls, Girls. Obviously, there was a strip club theme going on with this album. That's basically where the boys were spending their time. Got lyrics and liner notes there. And this is a pretty awesome black and blue vinyl. Have that as well. And finally, the last thing that I have to show for you this week, Dr. Feelgood. Take a look at that real quick. And I really didn't get into talking about the tracks. I mean, if you've hung out this long into this, this is nothing new to you. You don't need to hear that. Terror in Tinseltown. The intro. Oh, it's so cool. Or Dr. Feelgood, Slice of Your Pie. You don't need to know all that. So these songs. Rattlesnake Shake. This is basically where they should have been, in an asylum at this point. The way they were leading their lives. I mean, talk about a band that had so much going on between, Nikki Sixx, ODing on heroin and calling himself to let him know that, hey, he's dead. Vince Neil with the car crash. Vince unfortunately lost his daughter. It was really sad. You know, they had a lot going on, and Tommy was a complete maniac. You know, whether he was with Heather Locklear or his infamous home videotape with the ex-wife Pamela Anderson. I mean, these guys, they've seen and done it all. This is a pretty cool looking vinyl. It's like a very light green and almost like a blood red. You know, so the bad boys from Los Angeles, Motley F'N Crue. That is everything I have to show for you on this special episode, this very special after-school special of Ant on Music. Thanks for sticking with me on this one. I know it was a long one. Hopefully you watched to the end. I'm going to try and throw in a couple of pictures from when I photographed them at Madison Square Garden. You know, as always, I thank you for your time. Thank you for indulging me, letting me, you know, show my collection to you. And I'm going to pick up the camera and show you this stuff back here in a minute, and then we'll tack on some photos as well. Please, click like, all right? Drop a comment. You know, if there's something you like to see, something you think I might have, something in my collection. I'm sure I have something. I have a fairly decent sized collection. I'm more than happy to share. In fact, it makes it easy for me. I don't have to think of stuff to do. And most importantly, hit the subscribe button. Tell your friends, make them subscribe. That makes me happy. You know, this is you know, as I always say, this is an ant colony. Want to join the colony, want to make the colony grow. So please, you know, if you could, that'd be awesome. Totally appreciate it. Upcoming shows that I got coming up. Gonna have one doing about women in rock, you know, because this is Women's History Month, and what a better way to celebrate with some truly awesome, you know, rock and roll ladies. Take a look at their stuff. I only do about 5 or 6, you know, because these shows have a tendency to get long. Then I'm going to do, you know, go back to picking up. I still have stuff to get through that I haven't gotten through since the beginning of the year. Going to go through that stuff. And then sometime probably late April, maybe early May, I'm going to do a show on Queensryche. You know, I love Queensryche. I've seen them so many times. And they have had their ups and downs as far as musical output, and I really dig them. But enough of me blabbing. Thanks again. As always, as I always say, collect what you love. Peace, one love, and music. I am out. So let's take a little close-up look at other parts of the Motley Crue collection here. I've got the McFarlane Motley Crue, I guess you call it action figure set. Try and get in here without the glare. Got Vince, got Mick. Let's see if we can get down here and get a look at Nikki. Gonna be tough with the glare. There's Nikki. And back there in the corner, hidden, is Tommy Lee. Sides of the box are pretty cool. Gives you an idea of the close-up of the action figures there. Show the other side as well. Motley Crue, Lewd, Crude, and Tattooed live. Carnival of Sins DVD. Motley Crue Greatest Hits. And that ever-enticing deliciousness Motley Brew.